Hello my dear students. First we'll see the definition of order of the reaction. This reaction is first order reaction. So how many types of reaction are there? I told you the particles have to come and collide simultaneously. This is the step which actually tells us about the rate of the reaction. This is really very important question which has been repeatedly asked, and try to solve it on your own. That's why I told you all it is very important and it is quite easy as well. Hello my dear students, welcome back to the session 2 on the chapter Chemical Kinetics. Last class we had studied about rate of the reaction and rate expression or rate law. Rate of the reaction are of two types, that is average rate of the reaction and instantaneous rate of the reaction, and we also learned how to write the mathematical forms here. Then we learnt about the rate expression or rate law. Today we will be learning about order of a reaction. First we will see the definition of order of the reaction. The sum of powers of the concentration of the reactants in rate law expression is called as order of a chemical reaction. For example, I shall consider this equation in which small letter A, B, C and D are called as stoichiometric coefficient, A and B are reactants, C and D are the products. For this particular equation, I can write the rate expression as rate is equal to K molar concentration of A to the power X into molar concentration of B to the power Y. Correct? What is rate law? Rate law is an expression where rate of the reaction is related to the molar concentration of the reactants only about the reactants. We are not considering the products here, isn't it? And they are raised to their appropriate powers. I also told it is experimentally determined. We do not look into the balanced chemical equation and write this, isn't it? So, if I add the powers of the concentration terms, that is called as order of the reaction. So, overall order of the reaction is X plus Y. What is X? It is the power of the concentration of A and Y is the power in the concentration term B, isn't it? That's why the definition, the sum of powers of the concentration of reactants in a rate law expression is called as the order of the reaction. Okay. Now, going further, we have to learn what is first order reaction, what is second order reaction, what is zero order reaction, etc. Now, we understood that order means we have to add the powers in the rate expression, isn't it? Now, what do you mean by first order reaction? In first order reaction, the rate is directly proportional to the molar concentration of the reactant. That means, now for example, I'll take R giving P. For this, rate will be equal to K R to the power 1. So, if this is 1, then we call it as first order reaction. Now, what is the meaning of first order reaction? That is, if I increase the concentration of R by once, the rate of the reaction also will increase by once. That is, it is directly proportional. If I increase the concentration of the reactant twice, then the rate of the reaction also will increase by twice. So, if I increase this by 3 times, even the speed or the rate of the reaction also will increase by 3 times. This is the meaning of first order reaction. What is it? the first order reaction, the rate is directly proportional to the molar concentration of the reactant. So if I increase the molar concentration of the reactant by same number of times, even the rate will increase. Now we need to know some of the examples. First one is hydrogenation of ethene. So if we take C2H4 plus H2 hydrogenation to give C2H6. Here rate can be given like this, or the rate expression is this, and this particular reaction follows first order kinetics, or it is a first order reaction. So if I increase the concentration of ethene, the rate also will increase by equal number of times. Okay. The next example which you have to know is all natural and artificial radioactive decay of unstable nuclei. For example, we have radium, 88 is its atomic number, 226 is its mass number. Here radioactive decay, if it takes place, we will get radon. Okay, and this reaction is first order reaction. So rate is equal to K into molar concentration of radium. If nothing is written, it is understood, it is to the power 1. Okay. Other example is decomposition of N2O5 and N2O. Next we have is second order reaction. What do you mean by second order reaction? In second order reaction, the rate depends upon the square of the concentration of the reactants. Here you can see example NO2, okay, giving NO and O2, and if I write the rate expression, it will be rate is equal to K NO2 to the power 2. That means, see here, the rate depends upon the square of the concentration of the reactants. Or if I have to explain what exactly it is or what is the meaning of this, see, if we increase the concentration of the reactant 2 times, the rate will increase by 4 times. Okay, if I increase the concentration of the reactant by 3 times, the rate will increase by 9 times. That is the meaning of square of the concentration of the reactant. So such reactions we call it as second order reactions. Okay, you just need to know the definition and one example for both. Okay. Next we have is zero order reaction. In a zero order reaction, the rate of the reaction is independent of the molar concentration of the reactant. That is, it does not depend upon the concentration of the reactants and remains constant throughout the course of reaction. So what is the meaning of zero order reaction? Zero order reaction means if I increase the concentration by how many ever times I want, okay, if I increase the concentration of the reactants by how many ever times I want, still the rate will not change at all. It will remain constant. So the rate of the reaction is not dependent on the molar concentration of the reactants. Got it? So whatever happens, how much ever you want, you can increase the concentration of the reactant or you decrease the concentration of the reactant, but still the rate of the reaction will be constant. For such reactions we call them as zero order reaction. Okay. So examples for zero order reaction is ammonia, which decomposes to give nitrogen and hydrogen, using platinum as the catalyst. See, as the catalyst change, the order also can change. Okay, not only that, you should be very careful with which is the conditions also. Here it is at 1130 Kelvin. Okay, only then it is a zero order reaction. So rate is equal to K NH3 to the power 0, means rate is equal to the rate constant. That means rate of the reaction is always a constant. It will not depend on the concentration of the reactants. Okay. Similarly, here you have Hi. On gold surface you will get hydrogen and iodine, and this is a zero order reaction. How can I write the rate expression? I can write it as rate is equal to K Hi to the power 0. So rate will be equal to K because it is a zero order reaction. So I hope you have understood what is first order, second order and zero order reaction. So what is zero order reaction? When the concentration of the reactants is changed, still the rate of the reaction is constant. So the rate of the reaction is independent of the molar concentration of reactants. What do you mean by first order reaction? If I increase the concentration of reactant by once, even the rate will increase by once. That is, it's directly proportional. The rate of the reaction is directly proportional to the molar concentration of reactants. That time it is first order reaction. What do you mean by second order reaction? If I increase the concentration by 2 times, the rate of the reaction will increase by 4 times. So the rate of the reaction is proportional to square of the concentration. Then we call it as second order reaction. So it's very important to know the definition of each type or each order of the reaction and learn one example. Okay. Next we have types of reaction. So how many types of reaction are there? They are broadly classified into 2 types. Okay. First is elementary reaction, second is complex reaction. What do you mean by elementary reaction? A simple chemical reaction which occurs only in one step. Single step reactions, we call them as elementary reaction. Okay. What do you mean by complex reaction? If a reaction occurs in 2 or more steps, then we call them as complex reaction. So complex reaction, it will not occur in just one step, it will have 2 or more steps. Okay, then we call them as complex reaction. So we are going to learn next about molecularity in elementary and in complex reaction. So I'll give you the example of elementary and complex reaction when we are learning the molecularity. So what is molecularity of a reaction? The number of reacting species taking part in an elementary reaction which must collide simultaneously in order to bring about chemical reaction is called as a molecularity of the reaction. So what is it? In a reaction, how many molecules should collide with one another so that it will form a product? That number of molecules which are coming together are called as molecularity of a reaction. So we'll first learn about molecularity of elementary reaction. Elementary reaction means what? It is happening in just one step, isn't it? So we have NH4NO3 which is decomposing to give nitrogen and water. So the molecularity of this reaction is equal to 1. Why? Because we have only one here. One molecule of ammonium nitrate if it comes, or if it can just decompose to give nitrogen and water. Okay. But in the second equation if you see 2Hi, that means 2 molecules of hydrogen iodide should collide with one another, only then it will form hydrogen and iodine. Okay, so what is happening? 2 molecules of hydrogen iodide are colliding with one another to produce hydrogen and iodine. So what will be the molecularity? How many molecules are colliding here? 2 molecules, isn't it? So molecularity of the second reaction given here is 2. Okay, we'll see the next one. NO plus O2. We have 2 two NO molecules with one oxygen molecule, if all the three simultaneously collide with one another, then we'll get NO2, isn't it? So how many molecules are now colliding with one another? Two NO molecules and one O2 molecule. So we have three molecules, and all the three molecules should come simultaneously. They should collide simultaneously. Only then the product is formed. So the molecularity of this reaction is equal to 3. Now, molecularity of a reaction usually is not more than 3. Why? Because I told you the particles have to come and collide simultaneously. Now, for example, there's a huge reaction in which, all the stoichiometric coefficients, if you add, it will come to 9 or 10. So it is understood that it is not a elementary reaction, it must be a complex reaction, because the probability of all the 9 molecules coming simultaneously and colliding with one another is very, very low. That is the reason usually molecularity will be 1, 2 or 3. If it is more than 3, we get an idea it is not an elementary reaction, it may be a complex reaction. So we'll see what is complex reaction and what or how do we calculate the molecularity there. Okay. Next we have molecularity of the complex reaction. It is the number of reacting species taking part in elementary step of the complex reaction. So molecularity for the overall reaction we do not give. We only tell the molecularity for every step in a complex reaction. Okay. Next we have something called as rate determining step. Now in complex reaction I told you it is the reaction which happens in several steps, isn't it? So one of the step might be the slowest step, which will happen very slowly. Such step, the slowest step in the complex reaction, is called as rate determining step. I'll come back to writing the rate equation after I explain one example. Okay, so we'll take an example of decomposition of hydrogen peroxide catalyzed by iodide ion in alkaline medium. So what are we taking? Decomposition of hydrogen peroxide in the presence of iodide catalyst in alkaline medium gives water and oxygen. See, if you see the overall reaction here, it looks like the molecularity is 2, or it is just an elementary reaction because the molecularity is 2. But actually this is a complex reaction. So we learn the steps of this complex reaction. So step 1, if you see, hydrogen peroxide with I minus, that is iodide ion, which is added as a catalyst, it will form H2O and one oxygen gets transferred to I minus to form IO minus. Okay. In step 2, I have next molecule of hydrogen peroxide reacting with IO minus, which was formed in the first step, to give H2O, I minus and O2. Okay. Now, if you add these two reactions, what are you going to get? You are going to get 2H2O2. I minus and I minus gets cancelled, IO minus and IO minus gets cancelled, and you will get it as 2H2O plus O2. Isn't it? So, when I add, I will always get the overall reaction. Only when I am writing the steps, I will get to know what exactly or how exactly the reaction is happening. Okay. Now, the first step here is the slowest step. Okay. And the slowest step is called as the rate determining step. That means, if this step happens really very slowly, then the speed of the reaction also will be very slow, isn't it? Or the rate of the reaction also will be very slow. It is slowly happening. So if this occurs a little faster, even the rate or the speed of the reaction also will increase. So the slowest step is always called as the rate determining step. This is the step which actually tells us about the rate of the reaction. So rate expression is always written based on the slowest step. So if I write the rate expression for this, I'll get it as rate is equal to K molar concentration of H2O2 and I minus. See, otherwise, if I just look into the complex reaction and try to write the rate, I don't even know that I minus is reacting, isn't it? But when I'm writing the rate expression, looking into the slowest step, I get to know that even I minus, which is added as a catalyst, can change the rate of the reaction, isn't it? So, the rate expression is written based on the slowest step. So we have rate is equal to minus D molar concentration of H2O2 by dt, that is the differential form is written, is equal to K H2O2 into I minus. Now if I talk about the molecularity of these two steps, here I have 1 plus 1, 2 molecules, so the molecularity will be 2 for this step. Here I have 1 plus 1, 2 molecules, so here also the molecularity will be 2. So both the steps are bimolecular elementary reactions. Okay, so I can tell the molecularity only for elementary reaction. So in complex reaction, every step I can tell the molecularity. But for overall complex reaction, we do not tell the molecularity. So I hope you have understood about molecularity of complex reactions. Okay. Next is difference between order and molecularity. So we learned what is order of the reaction and we also learned what is molecularity, isn't it? So we'll learn the difference, and coming to exam point of view, this is really very important question which has been repeatedly asked. Okay. So the first difference is, it is the sum of powers of the concentration term in the rate equation or rate expression, isn't it? But what is molecularity? It is the number of reacting species taking part in elementary reaction, which must collide simultaneously in order to bring about the chemical reaction. So the difference is, we just first write the definitions. Here it is sum of the powers, here it's the number of the reacting species. Okay, so we write the exact definitions as the first difference. Second difference is, the order of the reaction can be 0 or even a fraction. Okay, it can be a fraction or it can be 0, it can be 1, it can be 2, etc. Okay, but molecularity is always a whole number. Can I tell half molecule is reacting? Can I tell 0 molecules are reacting? No, isn't it? It is just the whole number, but order can be 0 or it can even be a fraction. Okay. Next difference is, order of a reaction is an experimental quantity. It is experimentally determined. Correct? We have to do the experiment, only then we can tell the order of a reaction. But then molecularity is a theoretical quantity. It's just by looking into the balanced chemical equation, I can tell the molecularity of a reaction. Last difference is, it is applicable to both elementary reaction and complex reaction. Order of the reaction I can tell for any reaction, but I have to do it experimentally and then only I can tell the order. But molecularity is applicable only to elementary reaction. So these are the main differences between order and molecularity which you need to write for your exams. Okay. Next what do we have is the unit of rate constant. So we know to write the rate expression now. So if the rate expression is given, can I find the unit of the rate constant? Okay. How do we do it? See, for example, we are taking a general equation and the rate expression is, rate is equal to K, A to the power X and B to the power Y. What is order? X plus Y if I do, I'll get order, isn't it? So X plus Y is equal to N I will take, which is the order of the reaction. So when N is equal to 1, it is first order reaction. When N is equal to 2, it is second order reaction. When N is equal to 3, it is third order, and it can go on. Okay. So I will take rate constant. I am just rearranging this. Okay. Just rearranging the equation. K I have put on the left side and rate by the molar concentration raised to their appropriate power. Now what is the unit of rate? It is concentration per time. What is rate of the reaction? Change in concentration by time taken. So concentration by time, correct? Into, okay, then 1 by, this also is concentration, molar concentration, concentration to the power n, because x plus y I told it was n, so I have written to the power n. Okay, now we'll see what will be the unit of rate constant as the order changes. Okay, so for zero order reaction, order is 0, okay, unit of rate constant is mole per liter per second. That is this, concentration by time. Concentration is mole per liter, time is second, into 1 by, concentration is what? Mole per liter, to the power n is equal to 0. So n is equal to 0. What will happen then? Something to the power 0 is 1, unity. So mole per liter per second. Mole per liter, here divided by second, we write it as per second. Got it? So this is the unit of rate constant for zero order reaction. Same way for first order reaction we will write mole per liter per second into 1 by mole per liter to the power 1. So what happens here is mole per liter and mole per liter gets cancelled, and what will remain? Only seconds, that is division. So it is per second when I take it to the numerator. Correct? No? So the unit of first order reaction rate constant is per second or per time. If it is in minutes, it can be per minute. If it is in hour, it is per hour. Okay. So here you have taken in seconds, that's why it is per second. Next, for second order reaction, mole per liter per second into 1 by mole per liter to the power 2. So 1 and this one gets cancelled. So I have one more mole per liter in my denominator, which I have, when I take it to the numerator, it will become per mole. Per liter, when it goes to the numerator, it becomes liter, and second, when it goes to the numerator, it becomes per second. Correct? So the rate constant unit for second order reaction is per mole liter per second, or we can also write it as liter per mole per second. Okay? So you need to know the unit of rate constant. You can get 1 mark question from this part. It is very important, and how the questions will be asked, I shall solve the numericals for you. Okay? So I hope you have understood how exactly we are getting different units for different order of the reaction for rate constant. Okay? So first numerical is the decomposition of N2O5 in CCl4 at 318 Kelvin has been studied by monitoring the concentration of N2O5 in the solution. Initially, the concentration of N2O5 is 2.33 mole per liter, and after 184 minutes, it is reduced to 2.08 mole per liter. The reaction takes place according to the equation. They have given the equation. Calculate the average rate of this reaction in terms of hours, minutes and seconds. What is the rate of production of NO2 during this period? So we have two questions here. First, they are asking us to find out the average rate of the reaction in terms of hours, minutes and seconds. Okay. Second question is, what is the rate of production of NO2 also we have to find out. Okay. Now what is given? They are given the initial concentration of N2O5. Okay. Initial concentration of N2O5. Initial, I'll put not and right, is equal to 2.33. Okay. Mole per liter. Mole per liter. Then after 184 minutes, so time is 184 minutes is given. Okay, it is reduced to 2.08 mole per liter. It is reduced to 2.08 mole per liter. So we have to find out the average rate of the reaction. So equation is given here. From the equation I can write the average rate. So I can write it as rate, okay, rate of the reaction. Rate average is equal to minus 1 by 2 delta N2O5 by delta T. In terms of products, if I have to write, which is equal to plus 1 by 4 delta NO2 by delta T. Similarly, I can write it in terms of oxygen. I don't have any stoichiometric coefficient, so I'll write directly delta O2 by delta T. Okay, now I want to find out the average rate of the reaction only in terms of the reactants, okay, but I want in hours, minutes and seconds. So first part of the reaction or the question, I require this particular equation, correct? So what is average rate? Is equal to minus half, okay, change in molar concentration. So this is the final molar concentration, 2.08. Final minus initial we have to do 2.33 mole per liter, and time is delta T is 184 minute. Okay. So if I calculate this, what am I going to get? See, minus 1 by, I'll just multiply this, 184 into 2 is 368, correct? And this is into minus, see, I'll get a negative value because this is higher, I'll get it as 0.25. Minus into minus, it is plus. So 0.25 divided by 368, I will get it as 0.000679. Okay. Now I have to move the points 1, 2, 3, 4. So this will be 6.79 into 10 to the power minus 4. What is this? This is mole per liter. So it is mole per liter and time is in minutes. So per minute. This is in minutes I have got. Now what is the question? I have to get the average rate in terms of hour and seconds also. So I have to convert this value in per hour and per second. So to convert into per hour, what do I have to do? We know that 1 hour contains 60 minutes. So for 1 minute this is the value. For 60 minutes how much? I have to multiply into 60, isn't it? So this value, if I multiply into 60, I am going to get it in hours. So in hour, if I want to convert, it is 0.79 into 10 to the power minus 4 into 60 I have to do. So I will get this as 4.07 into 10 to the power minus 2 mole per liter per hour. Okay. Now if the same value I have to convert into seconds, I know 1 minute has 60 seconds. So this one I have to convert into seconds. I have to divide by 60. So in seconds if I want, it is 6.79 into 10 to the power minus 4 divide by 60 I have to do, which will be equal to 1.13 into 10 to the power minus 5 mole per liter per second. So now I have got the value in minutes, in hours and in second. So first part of the question we have solved it. Now coming to the second part, what is the rate of production of NO2 during this period? So I have to calculate how much of NO2 is produced during this 184 minutes. Okay. So how do we do it? I'll take this particular expression, rate I have already calculated, and I will take in terms of product NO2. So I'll write it as rate is equal to 1 by 4 delta NO2 by delta T. So delta NO2 by delta T will be equal to rate. What is the rate in minutes? I've got 6.79 into 10 to the power minus 4, okay, into 4. Why? This 4 I have moved it on the other side. So into 4 if I do, I'll get it as 2.72 into 10 to the power minus 3 mole per liter per minute. Okay, this is my second part of the question's answer. So I hope you have understood how to solve this. Once you watch this, you can pause the video, take out a pen and paper, read the entire question and try to solve it on your own. You really need to work out the numericals as I am doing it. Okay, otherwise you will find it difficult for your exams. So I hope you will do this work. Okay, next we will see second question. Calculate the overall order of the reaction which has the rate expression. So rate expression is given, we have to calculate the order. So what is order? Sum of the powers we have to do. So for first question, order is 1 by 2 plus 3 by 2, which is 4 by 2, which is 2. So it is second order. Overall order is 2. Okay. Next, for second question, again order will be equal to 3 by 2 plus minus 1. So how will I do this? I'll get 3 and minus 2. So I'll get it as half. So the order is half. Overall order is half. Okay. So I hope you have understood the second question. Coming to the third question, identify the reaction order from each of the following rate constant. So what is it? They have given the rate constant. By looking into the rate constant, you have to predict the order of the reaction. How will you do this? Look into the unit. We know that rate constant units change as the order changes. So in the first question now, rate constant is 2.3 into 10 power minus 5 liter per mole per second. This unit is for which order reaction? If it is second order. So the first question answer is, it is a second order reaction. Okay. Now here if you see, K is equal to 3 into 10 power minus 4 per second. Per second is the unit of which order reaction? For first order reaction. This is how they will ask you 1 mark question. You just don't bother about what is the number given here. If they have given the rate constant with the unit and asked you to find out which is the order of the reaction, just look into the unit and you can predict the order of the reaction. That's why I told you all it is very important and it is quite easy as well. Okay. So that is about the third question. Next question. In the reaction 2A giving products, the concentration of A decreases from 0.5 mole per liter to 0.4 mole per liter in 10 minutes. Calculate the rate during this interval. So what is the reaction they have given? 2A giving products. Okay. So can I write the average rate of the reaction looking into this? So rate is equal to minus 1 by 2 delta A by delta T. Now what is the change in concentration? 0.5 to 0.4 in 10 minutes. So final concentration is 1 by 2 I have to write. Final concentration is 0.4. Initial is 0.5 divided by 10 because the time interval is 10 minutes. So you will get it as minus 1 into minus 0.1 divided by 20, because 10 into 2 is 20. So we'll get it as 0.1 divided by 20. Minus into minus plus. Correct, no? So 0.1 divided by 20. So the answer will be 0.005 mole per liter per minute. So this was actually asked in one of the previous papers. Okay, that is supplementary question paper of 2017. You can see this question has been asked for 2 marks. Okay, so this is how you solve this. Next class, we'll be learning about integrated rate equation and rate constant for first order gas phase reaction. Okay, so I hope you have understood today's class. It's very important concepts. Stay tuned, stay focused. Thank you, my dear children.